Hey Parasocials, it's me, RTG2, Robert, and today I'm going to be talking about Project 2. Project 2 was about the UPS store. We had to redesign it for COVID and other pandemic things in mind, whether it's 2020 or whenever this ends. So this is a store. As you can see, not the most appealing. This isn't even a UPS store, this is a pizza place, but we need to suspend our disbelief and remake the building in our own image. The inside is just as dreary, but that's not a problem, because what we do next is we analyze the brand and what the brand stands for and the things that make up their aesthetic. So I look for colors, materials, and what they stood for, things like sustainability, reliability, and loyalty. So with that, I used it to influence my mind map. And the mind map fed into my mood board, which is very important to the final design. And with this mood board, we can see that UPS is focusing on technology like drones, electric cars, and really improving the delivery experience and improving our sustainability, because transport is a big part of our carbon footprint here on Earth. So with that, I went into ideation. I wanted to focus on different shapes, things that were weird, that weren't normal, weren't rectangular, kind of quirky. So I went with a diamond, and I made a diamond plan. Then I also made an ellipse. I was focusing on different shapes. How could it be different? What makes it better? So the diamond plan and the elliptical plan look similar because they were trying to separate the employee and the customer areas to focus more on automating both separate areas so that the customer could have a more streamlined experience and get help for the things they need and not have to interact with an employee every step of the way. And part of that, I felt, was to split up the circulation plans in between the customer and the employee. So customer could still ask for help and an employee could still cross over, but otherwise it was very independent. So with these diamond and elliptical plans, I ended up scrapping the diamond plan altogether, and I pushed forward with the elliptical plan, which is where you see my semi-final design. This one had a very leaf and very organic top of the building. It had very root-like walls. It was entirely made out of acrylic and glass, so it felt very open and natural. There was a huge waterfall in the middle. The entire ceiling was a mixture of solar panels and electrochromic displays so that the ceiling of the store could emulate the foliage of a forest or be entirely clear or be completely green. It was something I was really excited about, was the technology and the materials in the building. Part of the materials was also brown wood and brass, which made the UPS logo stand out and stick out in the building. But alas, the elliptical plan wasn't meant to be, and my professor asked for me to turn it into a rectangular plan. And with the rectangular plan, I moved forward. I made the rectangular plan keep the elliptical circulation from the elliptical plan, but in this case, it was now a rectilinear outside. So with the circulation preserved and everything formatted around that, I moved forward with the outer shell. And I ideated through, maybe it's a checkerboard, maybe it's the windows are all on the bottom or the windows are all on the top, so it feels very eco and solar punkish. And I ended up settling on a semi-cross design where the front door is glass and it merges up into a pathway with the side doors as well. It makes this nice two cubic volumes in the corners and the larger employee volume in the back, which brings a lot of light into the customer area. In the back, which needs good lighting, has a constant source of artificial light as well, but it still gets light from the outside too. But part of that is supplemented by the material in that the entirety of the back and the front corners are made out of a translucent concrete, which can transmit about twilight's worth of daylight into the inside, so there's always a constant ambient source during working hours in the day. As you can see, I loved focusing on technology, but here let's look at the drafting and the orthographics. You can see the plan here and the circulation as well. Different aspects that I wanted to focus on as well, different diagrams, things I wanted to show about the building. Now I want to show you the perspective so you can see a different interior view as well. And here you can see the looking towards the customer area, looking towards the employee area. And then finally I want to show you the model, which just gives a different perspective as well. This was made out of foam core, paper, and acrylic. I want it very basic, very simple, and I showed the basic forms of everything inside so that it didn't detract from the shape overall. And then As you can tell, I've already been focusing a lot on technology, so I just want to run over everything really quickly that I kept in this final design. So all of the glass on the building, well, first there's the concrete, which is translucent, which uses a lot of fiber optics inside of each brick. It maintains its structural integrity, but now it can pass light through in a beautiful display. Kind of like this image. Then there's the glass that goes over the main areas. That glass retains from the elliptical design the different electrochromic layers, as well as a solar panel layer for collecting energy, which can partially supply energy to the building, at least sustaining the kiosks and some of the LED light. Inside, I also wanted to redesign the kiosks. The kiosks now use a translucent display so that customers can see employees, or they can potentially see a terrarium or a picture or something behind the display, or even see the outside world depending on where they are in the building, so that the display isn't just a static black image when it's off, but it can still be a window into something new. But it's particularly important when it comes to the customer and employee relationship, because now we're seeing in a lot of stores where there's these huge acrylic panels that block your view of the other person, because there's also a computer on the inside and a bunch of other stuff that's already stacked up. But in this case, the translucent displays can either be split vertically, horizontally, or you can have it on both sides so that you can both see an image, and on there you'll see the price, you'll see the shipment, you'll see potentially even a map, or including an entirely new UI, so that the display will double as your barrier for protection. So it takes up the screen, no longer has to be a black box in there, which is something I was really excited about. And aside from redesigning the displays, I also redesigned the printing system. So you wouldn't have to use a printer that was only 11 by 8.5. Now the printer could print 11 by infinity, or it can print 18 by infinity, or 24 by infinity. So there's these different roles inside for each printer, and it just cuts off at the right paper size. So you don't have to worry about stacking the paper, having the right paper size, or even what orientation the paper is going to be in, or aspect ratio. You can just print, it'll print the optimum size, and then you'll have your poster or image or whatever. Which is something else I was very excited about. And that brings me to my final thoughts on this project. I enjoyed the UPS project, but I think there are some things I would have done differently. One, I probably would have started working earlier on the final design if I could have. It would have been better, so I could have had more time to work on the industrial design aspects, which is what I'm really interested in. I could have detailed more lighting fixtures, fleshed out the kiosk completely, and done some other things like furniture and whatnot. Potentially even doing some other branding or package design as well. That's something I would have really been interested in doing, even down to making uniforms or something for the employees there as well. And all of these are industrial design aspects, which is what Project 3 was about, and I can't wait to tell you about that in the next video. So until then, I've been RTG2. Don't forget to like, subscribe, and share this with a friend. Bye!